Yo, another video. Today, I think I'm going to be talking about a couple things. What I've been getting up to, maybe some new things in life, all that jazz. Starfield's the new gameplay that came out a couple weeks ago at the Summer Games Fest, or not Summer Games Fest, but it was the Xbox event. Because now Bethesda game studios are owned by Microsoft. I think so, at least. Looked pretty good. I mean, it's probably just going to be Fallout 4 rebranded, but that's like the only difference I can kind of see. It wasn't mind-blowing. It was it looked good. There could be a lot of like interesting things. I don't know if I trust Bethesda. I mean, it's been, Fallout 4 came out in 2015, Fallout 76 came out in 2018, so their last proper game was 2015, Fallout 4. Like, don't tell me that Bethesda Game Studios worked on Fallout 76. I refuse to believe it. I know they bought another studio for it to do most of the work, but them themselves, Fallout 4, I think, last game they've made, big one, and that was good. It was solid. I really like kind of base building type, kind of managey type games, survival even. So I enjoyed that aspect, but the story was good, but didn't really have that RPG feel, kind of like the Skyrim and Oblivion. I know you guys will, if you've played those games, you'll know what I mean. It was more, I guess the combat was good, but it was a Bethesda game essentially, but without kind of I know Skyrim was a dialed down RPG of Oblivion, like diluted even, kind of to make it more mainstream, but Fallout 4 was even worse, I would say. I know the voice protagonist was a big thing, because that also makes it more difficult to kind of, I guess, immerse yourself as the character, So it will be, if Starfield comes out in 2023 in like March or something, it will have been 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 7.5 years. That's crazy. These days, I know video games are getting more and more bigger and complicated to make, I'd imagine. For the likes of Red Dead Redemption 2, I think, 5 years in between GTA 5 or 4, the last one, and Red Dead Redemption 2. So, 5 years, 4.5 maybe, I don't know. But that's like, originally big AAA games, not originally, but for the most part, 5-10 years ago, or 10 years ago, it would have been about 3 years per game, for a game company. For a AAA big full-on game, it was maybe about 3 years, and it kind of got closer to 4. Now it's 4, I would say, average. But now games of Red Dead Redemption 2, the top tier, the top 1%, if you want to say it like that, 5 years is crazy. I don't know when GTA 6 will be released. I don't know, when did Red Dead Redemption 2 come out? 2018. So that's what? Let's show my maths. Maybe 2020, 2023, 2024. Maybe it could be 6 years. That is. I mean, Skyrim came out in 2011, so that's 11 years ago. I mean, these games, I'm aging half my life every time a new game comes out, and it's just, I feel like I'm a completely different person to who I was when these previous games are being released. There's such a gap now, and it's like a balancing act of implementing new technology which comes out each year, but also kind of finishing the game. Do you know what I mean? So I'm excited for Starfield, and I think if there's a comeback game from Bethesda, this could be it. I know Todd Howard is not the most likable human being at the moment with the amount of bullshit he's spewed out about Fallout 76 and all sorts. even joking about Skyrim coming out. Was it coming out like I looked up like recently, like 7 times, like re-released 7 times. It's just mind blowing. Yeah, you lose a bit of hope. I will say that. But I reckon they still have it in them. I mean, they still did make Oblivion and Elder Scrolls, and I guess you never get it right like the first time. So, because obviously there's Morrowind before Oblivion, and so they've kind of. And then on the other hand, with like CG Projekt Red, they had a couple Witchers before Witcher 3, which was essentially their masterpiece. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I hope it's a solid game. It'll be my type of game no matter what, because I know, because I've always enjoyed Bethesda games. Apart from Fallout 76, I never bought that out of pure hatred. And also, I know people are already talking about the modders coming in and making it an amazing game. It shouldn't really. It should. I think that's a bit of a like bad way of thinking about it. It's not really. I don't want a game where it has to be fixed by modders. Fix is ridiculous. It needs to get fixed, but like. I would prefer that a AAA company add some cool new features instead of some like modders having to do it like 2 years down the line after the game's been released. I think that's just ridiculous. As cool as it is, like I love it. Like it's what kept me playing Skyrim for a long time, but not what I think is. I don't think it's a good mindset to have. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think you should purchase it purely for the potential of modding. I think that's if it's a shit game. If it comes out and it's as shit as Cyberpunk when it came out, I don't think people should buy it. I won't buy it. I'm gonna wait until I'm not pre-ordering it. I'm gonna wait till it's released and genuinely see how it's received and if it lives up to the hype. But saying that, Space Pirates does sound pretty cool. Base building, I love that. Oh, the spaceships as well. That I think will be so cool. So I'm still excited. I'm a little bit hyped. I'll say that. I'm a little bit hyped. Like it's difficult not to be. But no, I'll just say that I'm not gonna get too hyped. That'll be my my 2 cents. Not too hyped, but a little bit hyped. But yeah, there's other game studios now that are coming out with. I mean, Elden Ring, that was a massive. They smash it out of the park like every game. They're a bit like Rockstar in that they never like come out with a shit game. They kind of reuse the same formula, I would say, but that's not an issue necessarily because I guess they're making the games that their fans want to play, which is there's no wrong in that. You could argue maybe they do have a like it's a bit of responsibility to maybe innovate a little bit, which they have. I guess they've kind of with Elden Ring they've kind of molded the best parts of all the previous Dark Souls games. And added the open world element where you can run around. It's a bit more free and less linear in the previous games. But yeah, I do think game companies, even AAA companies, have a responsibility to innovate. I mean, the industry in games, which is technology, like that is literally the essence of the industry. I know most indie companies that are doing the innovating, to be honest, trying like different things, and their games are usually cooler than most of the AAA games because God help me if I ever play Assassin's Creed again. It's literally just I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, no, that's Starfield. I'm excited for that. That's just one thing going on.